What's up, everyone? It's Calculations of. Some of you know me from my music. Some might know me from my daily devotionals or just me speaking about my sobriety journey. So I wanted to make another video speaking about my biggest triggers, which I think most people have. And it kind of bubbles down to three different things. I wrote them down. It's going to be stress, loneliness, and boredom. These are things that I feel like can eat a person alive that is newly sober or becoming sober or already on the sober journey. It's so easy to react to these things with substances. So I'm going to tell you about how I overcome these three things. So the first one is stress. I'm in a weird part of my life right now and rebuilding everything. It's just changes left and right, from being happy about something, feeling proud, accomplished, sad, angry, mad, all of these things that I deal with. And it's just stressful. It just really comes, the stress just comes, it's so intense. So dealing with stress is even more difficult when you're not using substances, because you can't just grab a drink or light something up. It's not that easy. So one of the things that I started doing, which helped a lot, and I really mean this, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, is working out. So first, I didn't have like a whole workout setup or go to the gym. I thought it was too daunting because, you see like these muscle guys and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go work out. Yeah. I didn't know how to do that. And this is coming from someone that was lazy and they didn't do anything like that. So my first activity that I did working out was just going on a walk. I have, like, on my cell phone, there's a fitness circle if you have an iPhone, and I literally just went on a walk. I got some fresh air, breathed in fresh air, and walked around. I think a lot of times when we're stressed, we sometimes get into fix-it mode or wanting to fix it, or we just kind of sit with ourselves and be stressed. But I found that it was good to just go do something and be active. So I went for a walk. And then stress kept on coming. So what do you do when that happens? You double down. So I went and bought one weight. Yeah, so I have one weight, and it's a 10-pound weight. And I've been lifting that weight. I sometimes do that when I'm just walking around the apartment or just thinking. I'll do that. And then someone eventually I upgraded from the walk to the weights. And then I eventually got an exercise bike. Someone put out an exercise bike randomly, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is for me. So I went and brought it up to my apartment, and now I try to do 5 to 10 miles every day on this exercise bike. It's amazing. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like I'm accomplished something, which is working on my body, because I neglected my body for years by using substances. So again, for a recap, the three things: stress. I think the best thing is dealing with fitness. Go work out. I'm sure you've heard it. You need to lock in, work out. You do. So the second trigger is going to be loneliness. This is something that I feel like men don't really talk about too much, but when you stop drinking, a big social element of your life just gets removed. You don't go out, you don't meet out with friends. You sometimes change the friends you have, or they don't really understand the change and how just being around it and smelling it can be a thing. Like, you give yourself an inch, you take a mile. You show up and hang out at bars all the time, you're eventually gonna start drinking. That's just how it is. So, my big thing now to deal with loneliness is just speaking to somebody. Speaking to anybody, talking to people. I mentioned my walks that I go on. I try to acknowledge everybody that I see. I say hi to them. Sometimes people open up and they want to have a conversation. Sometimes I have these meetings with my youth pastor. I speak to him a good bit. I have some friends some work partners that I speak to, and we just kind of talk. The biggest thing is just speaking with people and knowing that you're not alone with this. So I don't go to AA meetings. I'm doing this journey on my own. it works for a lot of people, and I encourage you to do it, or at least try it out. But I'm realizing for myself it didn't work, but AA is great because you're around a like-minded group of people that you can speak to about, your struggles. And they're open, they're there to listen to you. So that's something to do. So second, dealing with loneliness, speak to someone. Go to a therapist, go to an AA meeting, talk to your friends, really share. I think most people, they're not going to be like, oh man, I've got to hear you complain. No, they actually want to hear what's going on with you. You're good friends. So I encourage you to share. I guess my last 3 big triggers, last of the 3 big ones, are going to be boredom. Boredom is a thing. Most of the time when I was indulging in substances, I just did it because I was bored. That was it. I was just bored. Didn't have anything to do. It's like, well, I got a couple things I can do in my drawer right here. So I just ended up smoking or drinking and all that. And it was just something to do. I looked at it as something to do, but little did I know is I just ended up being high and bored. So that's all it was. So what I do to combat boredom now is I have activities that I like to do. I mentioned it kind of like bleeds over to how I deal with stress or loneliness. I'll go on walks, I'll work out. I make sure I do music stuff. You might see this keyboard here. I try to do music stuff, try to do social media stuff like doing this video. You can find a hobby or an activity that you love, that you've been always wanting to do, but you never did because you were always on substances. You can do those now. So finding an activity is crucial. It's great. It's great to do. You feel accomplished. It's something you love. You're falling in love again with something that you always wanted to try, or something that you used to do, but you just gave up because you're always high. I tell people now, I've had a music career. I DJ'd for some hip hop violinists. I DJ'd some places, made music. I kind of put that to a halt because of life and, just the way the world works and everything. So now I tell people I'm falling back in love with music again. I'm making songs actively. If you're on my channel, you'll see I have a couple of new songs out. It's something, these activities and hobbies are important because, what did they say? Idle hands are the devil's playthings. Or I believe that now. It's some old wives' tale, but I believe it. When you're bored, the default is just getting wrecked. It always is. So again, let's sum up all 3 of these things. Stress. I use fitness. Go on a walk, go work out, lift some weights. You'll feel better, you'll look better, and you'll get a little discipline. The second thing, loneliness. Talk to someone. Go to an AA meeting. Go talk to friends, talk to family, talk to people at your church. They actually want to hear what you have to say. And then 3, boredom. Go find an activity. For me, it's music. For other people, it could be woodworking, bowling, any of the above, but go do something to combat that boredom. I appreciate everyone taking the time to check out this vid. I just wanted to share some elements of my sobriety journey with you all. So if you liked what you heard, please like this video, share it, and then also subscribe to my channel if you can. I definitely appreciate it.